In a dramatic and historic development, the Supreme Court has issued an emergency order that halts the issuance of all new firearm permits across the United States. This sweeping and unprecedented move has sent shockwaves through the nation, as it effectively puts a stop to the process for anyone seeking to legally carry a gun in public, at least for the time being. The decision instantly freezes the application process, leaving thousands of Americans who were in the middle of applying for permits in a state of uncertainty and frustration. Many are now left wondering when or if they will be able to exercise their right to carry firearms in public. This emergency action comes at a time of chaos and confusion, as lower courts across the country have issued conflicting rulings on gun laws, creating a patchwork of regulations that vary from state to state. The Department of Justice, along with several state governments, has supported the Supreme Court's decision to pause new permits, arguing that it is necessary to restore order, ensure public safety, and provide clarity while the legal battles play out. The court's intervention signals a potential national reset on gun policy, forcing a renewed conversation about the balance between gun rights and public safety. This move has created a wave of uncertainty for millions of Americans, as both gun owners and advocates on all sides await further guidance. Effective immediately, state and local governments must stop processing all new concealed carry applications until further notice, leaving government offices and applicants in limbo. However, it's important to note that existing permits remain valid, so those who already have legal permission to carry firearms can continue to do so. This is only a temporary measure, not a final ruling. The Supreme Court is preparing to hear a major case that could ultimately redefine the nation's gun laws for generations to come, with far-reaching consequences for public safety, individual rights, and the future of firearm regulation in America. While the Supreme Court usually takes months to decide cases, it can act quickly in emergencies using the shadow docket. This process lets the court issue fast, temporary orders to prevent serious harm while it considers whether to take a case for full review. In the case of firearm permits, the court used this power to pause new permits, citing legal chaos and the need to maintain order. These emergency actions aren't final. They're like a stopgap until a full decision is made. Critics say the shadow docket lacks transparency, but supporters argue it's essential for urgent legal crises. The firearm permit freeze shows the court's willingness to intervene decisively when the legal landscape becomes unmanageable. The Supreme Court's involvement in this issue was set in motion by a heated legal battle unfolding in Hawaii, a state known for its unique approach to gun regulation and public safety. In Hawaii, a particularly strict law made it nearly impossible for ordinary citizens to carry firearms in public spaces, even for self-defense. The law imposed heavy restrictions, requiring applicants to meet extremely high standards that few could satisfy. Frustrated by these barriers, gun rights advocates took their fight to the courts. They argued that Hawaii's law blatantly defied the Supreme Court's earlier Bruin decision, which had expanded gun rights, and that it violated the fundamental protections of the Second Amendment. The result was a series of conflicting court rulings in Hawaii, leaving both gun owners and law enforcement in a state of confusion. This legal uncertainty mirrored the chaos erupting in other parts of the country, as different states interpreted federal rulings in their own ways. At the heart of the debate was a crucial question: what exactly counts as a sensitive place, where guns can be legally restricted? Schools, government buildings, and public spaces all became battlegrounds for this contentious issue. As similar disputes erupted in states like California and New York, the legal landscape became even more fractured. The Department of Justice, along with state officials and advocacy groups, urged the Supreme Court to intervene and provide clear guidance. Ultimately, the Hawaii case became the catalyst for the Supreme Court to address the confusion and clarify the nation's gun laws, aiming to resolve the patchwork of conflicting rules that had spread across the country and restore a sense of legal certainty. The permit freeze has reignited America's deep divide over guns. Gun control advocates see the pause as a chance to curb violence and clarify rules, arguing that public safety must be balanced with gun rights. They support designating more public areas as gun-free sensitive places. Gun rights supporters, meanwhile, view the freeze as an attack on self-defense and constitutional rights, blaming restrictive state laws for the chaos. Both sides are demanding a clear, decisive Supreme Court ruling to settle the issue once and for all. The Department of Justice, along with a coalition of states, some of which are usually on opposite sides of the gun control debate, came together in a rare show of unity to support the Supreme Court's decision to freeze the permit law. This move was not about taking a particular side in the ongoing national argument over gun rights, but rather about addressing a more fundamental issue that affects everyone: the need for legal clarity and stability in the law. Their main goal was to restore a sense of order and predictability to the legal system, especially as it relates to gun regulations, which have become increasingly complex and fragmented across the country. Conflicting court rulings from different regions have left law enforcement agencies and the general public in a state of confusion, making it nearly impossible to enforce gun laws consistently from one state to another. This patchwork of rules means that what is legal in one place might be illegal just a few miles away, creating uncertainty and frustration for everyone involved. Federal agencies and local police officers are often caught in the middle, forced to navigate a maze of differing regulations. This not only undermines respect for the law, but also makes it much harder to prosecute cases effectively and ensure public safety. States argue that the constant stream of lawsuits and ever-changing laws drain valuable resources, both financial and human. For business owners, especially those who sell firearms or related products, this legal uncertainty makes it difficult to plan for the future, or even know what rules they need to follow. By supporting the Supreme Court's freeze, these government entities hope the court will take the opportunity to establish a clear, nationwide standard for gun regulation, one that everyone can understand and follow, regardless of where they live. For the government, this is less about politics or ideology, and more about creating a workable, stable legal framework that brings certainty to law enforcement, businesses, and citizens alike. Ultimately, they believe that only the Supreme Court can resolve these deep divisions and provide the guidance the country needs. The Supreme Court's freeze on firearm permits has immediate effects for Americans. Those planning to apply for concealed carry permits are now in limbo, unable to move forward. Business owners face tough choices about allowing guns on their premises, with no clear guidance. Law enforcement may find their jobs simpler for now, but tensions could rise as citizens react to the suspension of rights. Some feel safer with fewer new permits. Others worry about being left defenseless. The freeze injects uncertainty into daily life, forcing everyone to confront the realities of America's gun debate. The nation now waits for the Supreme Court's next move. With the freeze in place, the Supreme Court will soon hear the Hawaii case at the heart of this crisis. Both sides will present arguments, and the justices' questions will offer clues about the future of gun laws. The court's decision, expected by June 2025, will set a nationwide standard for where and how guns can be carried. If the court sides with gun rights advocates, states may lose the power to create broad gun-free zones. If it upholds Hawaii's law, states could gain more authority to restrict guns in public. Whatever the outcome, the ruling will shape American gun laws and the balance between safety and rights for decades to come.